Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Russell Does Stuff. My name is Russell, and this is my YouTube channel. It's not very exciting, but maybe one day it will be exciting. I work 6 hours on Monday, 6 hours on Tuesday, and when I don't get finished up, I'll take care of sometime during the next 2 weeks. And hopefully I have a landscaping job or tree work and stuff like that to do. I have a video I just made about a landscaping job that I have to install, and I break down the numbers and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that video too, and you're not so much interested in this video, go check that one out. So here's the deal. This video is about climate change. And I didn't start paying any attention to climate change or the conversations about climate change or the scientists that are on the news and stuff like that talking about climate change. Maybe 15 or 16 years ago, I started hearing about it, and this guy named Al Gore was talking about it, and they got this climate change organization or something, and I like facts. I like to learn new stuff. Okay, I'm outside all the time, and if you work outside, you get used to weather patterns, and it's not like a farmer's almanac thing, but it's real life experience. So I've always had jobs where I've been outside. Very few jobs inside. But that doesn't make any difference to what I'm going to try to say and talk about and explain in this video. Is climate change real? I think the climate changes all the time. Since I work outside all the time, I notice weather patterns. Some years it's warmer than others. Some years it's colder than others. Now, I don't have a weatherman's degree, but I have what you want to call experience. 10 years ago, 16 years ago, it was cold out. We had flurries. People were running around the neighborhood celebrating snow on their vehicles. It's very interesting. When it snows in Florida, it's not like how it snows in Alaska. It sticks to metal and cars and stuff like that. You know, it's not a winter wonderland here in Florida when we have snow. I'm not some genius, but I can predict with some degree whether we're going to have a hot summer or we're going to have a cold winter. And I predicted that we were going to have a cold winter because of the El Niños and the La Niños. And then my memories of being outside all the time and taking notice of what time of the year it gets hot and what time of the year it gets cold out. I would like to say it's a 7-year or so or more pattern. I purchased a bunch of lawn care accounts, probably 8, 9, maybe it was probably 10 years ago. Yeah, it was about 10 years ago. And 10 years ago was when it was as cold out as it is right now, and it's going to be tonight. It's going to be in the teens. We have a freeze warning. All your experts are warning and telling you to put blankets on your landscape. All your plants need blankets tonight. I bought those accounts in like October. So when you buy things like lawn accounts, you have to show up when you just buy them, or you'll lose them and then you'll lose your investment. So I was mowing lawns in January when it was freezing out in the morning. It's no fun mowing lawns in the morning when it's cold out. Whether the lawn needed it or not, I had to show up and put tire marks in the yard so that I didn't lose those accounts. I was working in fear. I do a video about working in fear. I think I did it like 6 months ago or so. Check that out. There's some nuggets in that video. When I fixed air conditioners, I wouldn't wear pants, the uniform pants, or I wouldn't wear jeans. I would try to go the whole year wearing shorts. And I can remember 20 some years ago working on air conditioners, wearing shorts, and it's about 3:30 like it is now. And I was cold. I didn't have a jacket. Well, I had an AC jacket. They give you AC jackets with patches on them and stuff, and they're like a rugged jacket. They don't repel rain or anything, and it was one of those deals where the owner of the company felt good that the employees had these jackets, and they had a pretty industrial zipper on them. But that was it. I wore that jacket and shorts, and the shorts that you wear when you're fixing air conditioners in Florida are shorts that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson would have worn in a basketball game. In Florida, in the wintertime, which lasts a few hours here in Florida, it rains before the temperature drops. Like today, it's raining and drizzling out and the temperature's changing. And next week, it'll be 90 degrees. Probably a month ago, it was about 32 degrees here in Florida. And then the next day, it went back up to 90 degrees. Is that climate change? Yes, the climate changes here in Florida all the time, but it is predictable and it runs in cycles. I can recall playing on the front yard of my childhood home when there was frost all over everything. It's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year cycles, and they repeat. And it's pretty steady. I can count on those cycles being correct. What I'm trying to say here is I don't believe in climate change. I believe in weather or climate patterns, which I have evidence of because I'm outside all the time. I'm not, going from building to car to home. I'm literally out in the elements all the time. And I can recall weather patterns because I've been in them. Working outside when it's raining and lightning and it's cold out sucks. So from my experience, I will put jackets, rain jackets, and the appropriate clothing in my vehicle. Okay, I'll have extra socks. I'll have all that kind of stuff in my work truck when the temperatures get like this. Because I'm older now, and I'm not going to go a whole year without wearing shorts ever again. When I was young, I was, that was kind of stupid to do, but it was fun. I mean, it was cold out, maybe 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cold days out of the year. Come on. So I suffered through it in shorts. I have evidence that climate change is false, wrong, and ridiculous. And this might upset a lot of people out there. And you probably have a bunch of cats running around the inside of your house too. There's a restaurant where I eat tacos at. And about 3 years ago, I had a conversation with him about the weather. I think we had a thunderstorm or something, or it was hurricanes. And we had a few hurricanes that year and a bunch of tropical storms. And he was talking to me about climate change. And I said, I don't believe in climate change. And he said, I don't believe in climate change either. And I said, well, what's your evidence for not believing in climate change? And he says, I grew up down the street from an inlet where the bay comes in up his street. There's a bridge. He goes, that water level has been the same at the same level ever. He was my age, 50 years old at the time. His whole life, that level of the water never went up any higher unless there was, a hurricane or something. The water's at the same level, okay? And he doesn't believe in climate change either, because he looks at the evidence of that inlet up the street from his house. I believe Al Gore said that New York City was going to be underwater. I'm still waiting for that to happen. That's never going to happen unless an asteroid hits Earth. This is the one time out of every 10 years or so people got to pull the bed sheets off of their beds and go out and cover up their precious plants out in their yard so that they don't die from frostbite. Mentioned in a video I did the other day, I told one of the guys I work for, I am not putting these plants in until we get the warmer weather, because I knew it was going to be cold. He didn't agree with me, and then he came up to me, yeah, hey, because he's from up north and he's not used to the weather down here. And he came out and said, the big boss needs a big landscape job, and when can you get it in? We need it done right away. And I said, I'm not putting that landscaping job in anytime soon. I said, it's going to take me a couple weeks to order everything. And when the plants come in, it's going to get cold out. So I knew that it was going to get cold because of my experience from being outside. Farmers, they know weather patterns. They know when to plant and when not to plant. It's the same deal. So it's drizzling right now, and it's going to get maybe 13 degrees out. My folks may see a little bit of snow flurrying at their house tonight. I remember when I was young, I was at my best friend's house, and I was 13 years old, and it was snowing. It was about this time of the evening because I had to be home for dinner. So we balled up as much of the snow as we could off the cars, because it hits the ground, it melts. And I remember actually putting it in the freezer. Jeff put his snow in his freezer, and I put my snow in my parents' freezer. I don't believe in climate change. I believe in environmental change. So if you cut trees down, you're no longer going to have shade. If you pour concrete all over the place, you have no place for the water to go to unless you build drain pipes and all that stuff. But if you get way too much water from a rain that you can count on having every 15 or 10 years or so, you have to have a place for that water to go. And the people are like, oh, my houses are flooding, my apartments are flooding and stuff. Well, duh, You can change the environment of the desert. You can plant plants. You can bring in water. You can dig for water. So climate change, no. Environmental change, yes. Look at the impact that's going on with all the trees being removed in South America. It is changing their environment. People pick on me when they know I don't believe in climate change. And I tell them this one thing, and I'll end this video with that. I want to see the United States covered in ice like it used to be. Bring back the Ice Age. All right? Well, this is Russell with Russell Does Stuff, and we'll catch you on the next one.